On iBrand News Now, NCC investigates
professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, and meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, dry cleaners to me, dry cleaners to me, dry cleaners to me, dry cleaners to me. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah.
And thanks for joining us on News Now. Yes, the stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Margaret Opara. Academic Staff Union and Polytechnics has declared a strike demanding the implementation of new salary scheme for Polytechnic lecturers. ASUP leaders made a strike declaration on Tuesday after a meeting with federal government officials in Abuja. Aside from the new salary scheme, the union is also demanding payment of salaries and promotion allowances owed lecturers by some state governments. Regional President of ASUP, Anderson Ezebi, while insisting that strike will go on, however noted that the union will be open for dialogue with the federal government to resolve the issues raised. And also Minister of Education Adamu has promised federal government's commitment to resolve all issues that lead to the ongoing nationwide strike by the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics. The minister gave the assurance during a meeting with members of ASUP in Abuja.
I assure you, there are some things to say that the approved by the council.
And it's Blemiville Skin Care and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Once again, I'd like to thank you very much, and I assure you all these points.
This fact just started. It's just a few hours ago. And what happened here today is the commencement of a process of resolution of the issues. And so until the issues are resolved to the satisfaction of the members of our union as represented by the National Executive Council of the Union, we cannot be talking about suspension of the strike. The issues are there before the government. As early as they can be resolved, then our members will get back to the activities.
Meanwhile, students of Lagos State Polytechnic have appealed to the federal government to improve standard of education. A group of students who spoke with iBrand also expressed their thoughts on the strike. Our correspondent Daniel Ujuku has the rest of the story.
Polytechnics has confirmed that it will be embarking on its one-year strike.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin.
We are now live at the Yaba College of Technology.
The allure of the well-pampered skin.
Lectures following online lectures.
We bounce from skincare products to skincare products.
Now the news has come as a shock to many of the students.
From spa to spa.
Reactions to students who have already prepared for or who have already been preparing for a maths
looking for
examination.
that ideal
it's
solution.
Really not nice. I don't feel good about it because we just came back from the corona break.
I found the solution.
We've not been able to cover up some things, and the exam is very near. And classes online have not been really easy, so I really don't like.
And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa.
Now they have reason going on strike. Understand? They have reason going on strike.
My name is Neil,
so I had
and I'm proud to be a
some
part of the
lecturers have not
Blemiville
collected
family.
salary for close to 3 years, so they're actually fighting for their rights as a lecturer. So they use this strike to threaten the government in order to pay them. So I will just tell the government to reduce or maximize the time we're going to spend. Understand? That's the only, because how will this lecturer feed their family?
With our exam, they can continue. So nobody wants to resume. We are resuming some that are not the same
Here at Yaba College of Technology, it's a mixed bag of reactions. While some have been advised for the striking lecturers, others have said it's not really an ideal situation, given that they just resumed and they're hoping to have the examinations complete.
Members of Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, have grounded all court activities in the state to drive their demand for financial autonomy for the judiciary. The national body of the union have directed the nationwide strike as upon expiration of a 21-day ultimatum given to the government on full implementation of judicial autonomy in the country. the Osun State chapter of the Union, but at the Federal and State High Court as well as the Industrial Court in Osogbo to effect the industrial action. The chairman of the Osun State chapter, Benga Eludiwe, addressing the judicial staff, remarked that all forms of criminal activities in Nigeria were as a result of neglect of the judiciary. Hence, there is a need for the full implementation of its autonomy.
Precisely on the 13th of March 2021, a meeting was called by the National Secretariat of JUSUN at Abuja, where all chairmen of all branches converged, and a resolution was reached which gave 21-day ultimatum to all tiers of government
on iBrand News now, NCDC investigates blood clotting in some persons who received first jab of AstraZeneca vaccine.
Ultimatum,
Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics declares strike,
and that
demanding implementation of new salary
strike order given by the
Myanmar troops fire at anti-coup protesters, killing at least 7 people. IMF rises upon its growth
the welfare
forecast for
of
Nigerian
the judiciary and the judicial officers very seriously.
Many thanks for joining us on News Now. Yes, some stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Margaret Opara. Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics has declared a strike demanding the implementation of new salary scheme for Polytechnic lecturers. ASUP leaders made a strike declaration on Tuesday after a meeting with federal government officials in Abuja. Aside from the new salary scheme, the union is also demanding payment of salaries and promotion allowances owed lecturers by the federal government. Imo State, as a representative of ASUP on the line, as a result of continued attacks on police facilities in the state, however noted that the union government attacked the police command headquarters in the resolve the Egyptian armed men invaded another police facility in the state on Tuesday. Adamu, the latest attack was carried out on the mission of police headquarters in the Egyptian local government area. On half life from the state capital. Meanwhile, residents of the affected communities will not be iBrandTV and ASUP.
Police central are supposed to have enough security, but if they have enough security, this thing that happened will not happen. That's my own concern over there. They have to be alert all the time, because this Imo State is this headquarter is the headquarter of all the police force in this state. They have to be alert all the time.
It is so surprising that hoodlums can go to that extent of going to break jail and release criminals that now are at large. Then nobody knows
just a
how
few
safe
hours
we are. Because they may go back to their former
commencement of a process of
primitive and criminal activities.
Issues are resolved to the satisfaction of the members of the
union. A situation where hoodlums can go to the extent of attacking police headquarters. It means we, the ordinary human beings, are not safe.
There is high tension in the heart of everyone living in the city.
Meanwhile, students of Lagos State Polytechnic have appealed to the federal government to improve standard of education. A group of students who spoke with iBrand also expressed their thoughts on the strike. Our correspondent Daniel Ojukwu has more stories. The pace setters state alongside all the 5 have been selected to benefit from the agro-processing zones project courtesy of the African Development Bank AFDB and the International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD. This was made known during the courtesy visit of the delegates to the governor of Oyo State in Seyi Makinde. The team led of the African Development Bank, Dr. Chuks Ezedinma, said the bank is currently in the country to undertake what it calls the special agro-industrial processing zones, and is designed for 6 states, and Oyo State is one of the beneficiaries.
What's it called? Break, and
it will soon fix at least 200 kilometers of rural roads through the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project.
So I really don't like the fact that we're going on strike.
Industrial processing zone project, Your Excellency, is a demand-driven approach to the public-private partnership to crowding private sector into agricultural development, basically involving the development of agro-industrial parks. And from what I have seen, the Oyo State government already has the institutional arrangement to be able to fulfill this function. And that is why we opted to come into Oyo State to undertake this feasibility. We are doing this together with the International Fund for Agricultural Development. And we also have a lot of other national partners, the Bank of Industry, the NISA, the Southern World Fund, and so on. Each one of them will be fitting into a particular part of the program, but what we are looking forward to is a large scale.
Members of Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, have grounded all court activities in the state to drive their demand for financial autonomy for the judiciary. The national body of the union had directed a nationwide strike as upon expiration of a 21-day ultimatum given to the government on full implementation of judicial autonomy in the country. The Osun State Chapter of the Union was at the Federal and State High Court as well as the Industrial Court in Osogbo to effect the industrial action. The chairman of the Osun State Chapter, Benga Eludiri, addressing the judicial staff, remarked that all forms of criminal activities in Nigeria were as a result of neglect of the judiciary. Hence, there is a need for the full implementation of its autonomy.
Because the four pillars, this administration is standard.
At Abuja, where all chairmen of all branches converge, and a resolution was reached which gave 21-day ultimatum to all tiers of government implement fully the financial autonomy of the judiciary. But despite that ultimatum, up to today, nothing significant has been done. And that was what warranted strike order given by the National Secretariat of Justice that all states should embark on that strike.
Governor Adigwe takes the welfare of the judiciary and the judicial officers very seriously. In Osun State, we are trying our best to make the judicial officers and the judges comfortable. It's a national issue. It's a national strike. Osun State, as far as we are concerned, we are ready to negotiate with the judicial officers. We are ready to negotiate with them to see how we can resolve
the Nigerian Senate worries concerns seriously as it is investigated with blood clotting in some persons who receive the first job continued alternative vaccine facilities. This was revealed by the Director General NSAP Police Command Headquarters during the presidential time when invaded COVID facility in the state. The European Medicines Agency on Tuesday announced that the agricultural division of police representing the Rwanda government area checked that the requirement said the government was aware of blood clotting in individuals while in the affected community whose place provide data are still ongoing. Not all European countries are adopting the vaccine for their population. An action should be taken after data and circumstances are fully evaluated, he said. And also the federal government on Tuesday said an addition of 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has been received from India. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, made the announcement during the press briefing in Abuja. The vaccine donated by the governments of India to Nigeria will help boost the number of Nigerians to be vaccinated by about 50,000. Mustafa also announced that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the transitioning of the PTF to the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 effective from April 1st, 2021. The PSC will now operate with a modified mandate to reflect the non-emergent status of the COVID-19 will function up till December 31st. Moving on, the federal government has explained why it asks all states administering the COVID-19 vaccine to stop the exercise the moment they use half of the doses allocated to them. Minister of State for Health, Senator Olorunde Mamora, said the explanation at Tuesday media briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. Mamora explained that the election taking necessary alongside the country was not sure have been to the second batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine in the right country of the African Development. He said that it was also to enable those who have received the for agricultural development to complete their vaccination. This was made known during the courtesy visit of Muhammadu Buhari as the governor of the appointment of the VIG Maktuman Alkali Baba as the African Inspector General of Dinma said the bank will appoint to replace Muhammad Abubakar as the rather what it calls the National Police police affairs disclosed this to State House and responded on Tuesday, and the president had on the 4th of February extended the tenure of Mohammed Adamu as Inspector General of Police for 3 months, out of which kilometers of police was spent 2 days and 2 months rather than 3 days marketing project. According to the minister, Baba's appointment was carefully made after the president considered issues of professionalism, competence, and years of service. The president urged DIG Usman Al-Kali Baba to, among other things, ensure that policing reform policies are fully prioritized to engender peace across the country. And in more stories, Senator Sati Gogwin of Plateau State is dead. He died on Tuesday after a protracted illness. Williams Gogwin, a younger brother of the deceased, disclosed this on Wednesday. Williams said the family had taken his death in good faith, adding that as true Christians, they believe God called him home. Williams said the family was shocked over his demise and would discuss the funeral soon. Gogwin was elected as senator representing Plateau Central in 2007 and spent 4 years at the National Assembly before losing to Senator Joshua W. in 2011. The Kano State government has slashed the March salaries of political office holders in the state by 50% due to dwindling resources. The State Commissioner for Information, Muhammad Garba, who disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday, said the action was due to a shortfall in the revenue accruing to the state from the Federation account. He said the decision affected the governor, deputy governor, and all public office holders in the state, including all the commissioners, special advisors, senior special assistants, and special assistants, among others. And Garba said the local government level, the salary slash affected the chairman, vice chairman, elected councillors, supervisory councillors, advisors, and secretaries of local government. In more stories, Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa, on Wednesday swore in the newly elected local government council chairman. The governor appealed to them to pay attention to the rising insecurity in the state. The governor, shortly after administering the oath of office for them, said the present security challenges had made it imperative for chairmen to stay and find solutions to the specific crises in the local government. Dambuwa said the local government is the driver of development at the grassroots and the chairman must not give room for failure. He also instructed the chairman to hold security meetings regularly and furnish the state government with the outcome of their meetings to ensure effective planning. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back for more stories.
Fresh from the farm, he good for body. No chemical at all, this na real banga. No more wahala or pandy washy. Just put on for fire and your food done ready. Everybody follow me chop banga, banga, oh. Make you follow me chop Banga easy.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) is investigating the blood clotting in some persons who received the first jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine. This was revealed by the Director General NCDC Chief Ihekwazu during the Presidential Task Force COVID-19 briefing. The European Medicines Agency on Tuesday announced that there is a causal link between AstraZeneca jabs and rare blood clots. Ihekwazu said the government was aware of the blood clotting in individuals in Europe. Those investigators are still ongoing. Not all European countries are adopting the vaccine for their population, and actions will be taken after data and circumstances are fully evaluated, he said. And also the federal government on Tuesday said an addition of 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has been received from India. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, made the announcement during the press briefing in Abuja. The vaccine donated by the government of India to Nigeria will help boost the number of Nigerians to be vaccinated by about 50,000. Mustafa also announced that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the transitioning of the PTF to the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 effective from April 1st, 2021. The PST will now operate with a modified mandate to reflect the non-emerging status of the COVID-19 will function up till December 31st. Moving on, the federal government has explained why it asks all states administering the COVID-19 vaccine to stop the exercise the moment they use half of the doses allocated to them. Minister of State for Health, Senator Olurunbe Mamora, said the explanation at Tuesday media briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. Mamora explained that the directive became necessary since the country was not sure when the second batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine would arrive the country. He said that it was also to enable those who had received their first jab to be able to complete their vaccination.
Parties decided to boycott the election.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of DIG Usman Alkali Baba as acting Inspector General of Police. He already replaces Mohammed Abubakar Adamu. Now, the Minister of Police Affairs disclosed this to State House correspondents on Tuesday. The President had on 14th February extended the tenure of Mohammed Adamu as Inspector General of Police for 3 months, out of which the police boss spent 2 days and 2 months rather and 3 days. According to the minister, Baba's appointment was carefully made after the president considered issues of professionalism, competence and numerous years of service. The president urged DIG Usman Alkali Baba to, among other things, ensure that policing reform policies are fully prioritized to engendering peace across the country. And in more stories, Senator Sati Gogwim of Plateau State is dead. He died on Tuesday after a protracted illness. Williams Gogwim, a younger brother of the deceased, disclosed this on Wednesday. Williams said the family had taken his death in good faith, adding that as true Christians, they believe God called him home. Williams said the family was shocked over his demise and would discuss the funeral soon.
February 1st.
Gwagwe was elected as senator representing Plateau Central in 2007 and spent 4 years at the National Assembly before losing to Senator Joshua Dawiye in 2011. The Kano State government has slashed the mass salaries of political office holders in the state by 50% due to dwindling resources. The State Commissioner for Information, Muhammad Garba, who disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday, said the action was due to a shortfall in the revenue accruing to the state from the Federation account. He said the decision affected the governor, deputy governor, and all public office holders in the state, including all the commissioners, special advisors, senior special assistants, and special assistants, among others. And Garba said the local government level, the salary slash affected the chairman, vice chairman, elected councillors,
and a year of strict border controls, advisors, and secretaries of contact tracing protocols. Up next is sports. In more stories, Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa, on Wednesday swore in the newly elected local government council chairman. The governor appealed to them to pay attention to the rising insecurity in the state. The governor, shortly after administering the oath of office for them, said the present security challenges had made it imperative for chairmen to stay and find solutions to the specific crisis in the local government. Tambuwa said the local government is the driver of development at the grassroots, and the chairman was not give room for failure. He also instructed the chairman to hold security meetings regularly and furnish the state government with the outcome of their meetings to ensure effective planning. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back for more stories.
Headed by Harun Malik. FIFA said in Wednesday's statement that its decision to suspend the PFF was prompted by the hostile takeover, which constituted a serious violation of its statute.
Fresh from the farm, he good for body.
Was suspended
no
after the
chemical at all. This not real banga. No more wahala up and the washy. Just put on for fire and your food is already. Everybody follow me chop banga. Hey banga.
Another story by the group. Make you follow me jump covering from serious leg injury sustained from the February car crash for his absence from the Masters.
Banga kuku don easy. Banga na palm fruit wey dem comot. Put am inside can. You fit use banga cook any kind soup wey you like. And other food dem like rice, beans and even yam. Na Pali Agro Product Limited dem dey manufacture am. For distribution, make you call 070-666-382-13.
Five-time Masters champion won the 2019 Masters for his first time in 11 years to complete an astonishing comeback with multiple bags. And that's all for now on Sports Updates. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank Thank you, Judechi. And now in business, Nigeria's premier financial technology company, A-Transact International PLC, witnessed a decline in top line. He suffered a net loss of 1.89 billion naira in 2020 despite reported growth in electronic transactions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Audited reports and accounts of A-Transact for the year ended December 31st, 2020, released at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, showed turnover dropped from 25.19 billion naira in 2019 to 22.72 billion naira in 2020. The company, however, recorded operating loss of 2.14 billion naira in 2020 as against modest operating profit of 60.32 billion naira the previous year. And also, International Monetary Fund (IMF) has revised upward its growth forecast for the Nigerian economy in 2021 from 1% it has predicted in January to 2.5%. IMF, in its latest World Economic Outlook titled "Managing Divergent Recovery," that was released yesterday, however, expected 2.3% economic growth for the country in 2022. For Sub-Saharan Africa generally, the IMF also anticipated growth of 3.4% this year, higher than its earlier forecast of 0.2%. The IMF said economic recoveries were diverging across countries and sectors, reflecting variations in pandemic-induced disruptions. A businessman specialized in the importation of cleaning products, Farah, business is seen by observers as unlikely to pose a significant challenge to the strong man who has been in power for 22 years. COVID-19 pandemic. Djibouti is largely a desert country, strategically situated in one of the world's busiest trade routes and at the crossroads between Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. The border clashes between Ethiopia's Afar and Somali regions have killed at least 100 people, a regional official said on Tuesday. Around 100 civilians were killed since clashes broke out on Friday and continued through Tuesday. Public spending rose to 12.1% to 1.7 trillion euros in 2020 as the government pulled out all the stops to offset the impact of months of lockdown, while tax take fell 3.5% to 1.5 trillion euros. The Statistics Office said on Wednesday. Reports a Chinese-owned factory was set on fire in the commercial capital Yangon, and activists burned the Chinese flag. Now the country's military rulers said the civil disobedience movement was destroying Myanmar. And on this note, we call it a wrap on news now. For more stories, follow our website, activist group, all our social media platforms, like, leave comment for us on the comment section. It could have ended a brief period of civilian-led democracy. Nationwide protests and strike have persisted since the military use of lethal force to quell the opposition. Seen on the African continent, at least 10 tired cabinet ministers and dozens of lawmakers were self-isolating on Wednesday after coming into contact with positive coronavirus cases amid a sharp increase in infections in the capital, Bangkok. Transport Minister told local television on Wednesday he had tested positive for COVID-19, while his other parties said ministers, lawmakers and coalition politicians had been in contact with confirmed cases. Thailand has seen infections jump in the past week, although numbers are still low in comparison to some of its regional neighbors, owing to more than a year of strict border controls, quarantine, testing and contact tracing protocols. Up next is sports with Judechi.
Welcome to the Sports Update. My name is Jidechi Chidiezir. FIFA has suspended the Pakistan Football Federation due to third-party interference and also the Chadian Football Association with immediate effect due to government interference, soccer's global governing body said on Wednesday. A group of football officials led by Ashfaq Hussain, which was elected by the Supreme Court in 2018 to run the PFF, but was not recognized by FIFA, took over the headquarters recently and seized control from the FIFA's Normalization Committee headed by Harun Malik. FIFA said in Wednesday's statement that its decision to suspend the PFF was prompted by the hostile takeover, which constituted a serious violation of its statutes. Chad, on its own part, was suspended after the Chadian Ministry of Youth and Sports had stripped the country's FA of its powers on March 10th, following concerns over the way it was being run and a breakdown in communication. And in other stories, Tiger Woods is in decent spirits at home, recovering from serious leg injury sustained from a February car crash, but his absence from the Masters is keenly felt by his friendly rivals. Four-time major winner Rory McIlroy and second-ranked Justin Thomas, both expected to contend starting Thursday at Augusta National, visited Woods at his South Florida home since he went there from hospital last month. Woods, a 15-time major winner and 5-time Masters champion, won the 2019 Masters for his first time in 11 years to complete an astonishing comeback with multiple back surgeries. And that's all for now on Sports Update. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you, Judechi. And now in business, Nigeria's premier financial technology company, eTransact International PLC, witnessed a decline in the top line. He suffered a net loss of 1.89 billion naira in 2020 despite reported growth in electronic transactions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Audited report and accounts of eTransact for the year ended December 31st, 2020, released at the Nigeria Stock Exchange, showed turnover dropped from 25.19 billion naira in 2019 to 22.72 billion naira in 2020. The company, however, recorded operating loss of 2.14 billion naira in 2020 as against modest operating profit of 60.32 billion naira the previous year. And also, International Monetary Fund (IMF) has revised upward its growth forecast for the Nigerian economy in 2021 from 1% it had predicted in January to 2.5%. IMF, in its latest World Economic Outlook titled Managing Divergent Recoveries that was released yesterday, however, expects a 2.3% economic growth for the country in 2022. For sub-Saharan Africa generally, the IMF also anticipated growth of 3.4% this year, higher than its earlier forecast of 0.2%. The IMF said economic recoveries were diverging across countries and sectors, reflecting variations in pandemic-induced disruptions and the extent of policy support. Still in business, Germany's public sector deficits reached 189.2 billion euros in 2020, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now the first deficit since 2013 and the highest budget shortfall since German reunification 3 decades ago, said the Statistics Office. The pandemic, which has so far claimed more than 77,000 lives in Germany, has devastated Europe's largest economy, even though it has proven more resilient than many expected, partly because of continued strong export demand from China. Public spending rose to 12.1% to 1.7 trillion euros in 2020 as the government pulled out all the stops to offset the impact of months of lockdown, while tax take fell 3.5% to 1.5 trillion euros, the Statistics Office said on Wednesday. And the spending spree is set to continue, with German Finance Minister last month promised to do whatever needed to enable Germany to spend its way out of coronavirus-induced economic slump. And on this note, we call it a wrap on News Now. For more stories, follow our website, all our social media platforms, leave a comment for us on the comment section. My name is Margaret Opara.